I'm just sitting there thinking about how Stu Khan struggles to say woman.
It just feels like really aggressive.
Well, don't say it in an aggressive way then.
Hello, there's this woman here to see.
No, don't say it like that. Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably your weekly antidote to bad news. Like a hug from a golden retriever that also happens to be a qualified therapist. It's episode 13, unlucky for some, but statistically, you're more likely to be hit by a rogue satellite than cursed by a podcast. So we're rolling the dice. We're bringing you another week of good news stories, weirdly specific joy, and light to medium sarcasm. I'm Jim, your host and low-budget optimist, joined as always by Shelley and Stu, here to prove that the world isn't completely on fire. And even if it is, sometimes it's just a lovely controlled burn to help the wildflowers grow. Last week, we learned that following a rugby team can improve your mental health, unless you're Welsh, in which case, thoughts and prayers. This week, we've got stories of scientific breakthroughs, accidental heroes, and, because it's everything's fine, probably at least one animal doing something statistically improbable and heartwarming. So pour yourself something calming, unless you're driving, in which case just unclench your jaw and relax your shoulders. And let's begin. Shelley, Stu, how are you?
Well, episode 13.
Yes.
I mean, it's been quite the journey, hasn't it?
Has it?
Yeah, so far we've learned all sorts of things, haven't we?
Have we?
So far, yeah. Have you got any of your update on the conference?
I checked it out. It was still 50, still sitting on 50. No further ratifications on the deep sea treaty since we last spoke. But I watch it religiously.
Well, I think we're all waiting for updates on that.
The minute it goes up, you will be. Well, you won't be the first to know, obviously.
No.
But once I know, you'll be the next person down the line, or people down the line.
Anyway, I've got some breaking news
Have
now.
we?
Breaking news. Just on the way over, Hulk Hogan has died. Yeah.
Has he really?
Yeah,
Oh no, but we lost Ozzy Osbourne yesterday.
Ozzy Osbourne this week.
Oh,
Hulk has got 71. Heart attack, cardiac arrest.
Oh no.
So
It's
another
a bad week for alliterative celebrities.
it sure is, yeah.
Mandy Moore better be careful.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of wrestling, me and someone else I worked with yesterday accidentally knocked out a ladybird.
Okay, tell us more.
So I came back in from having a break, and there was a bug in my hair, but it was really close to my eye. So I couldn't tell because I'd been sitting near a bin. I was worried it was a wasp. So I said to him, "Is that a wasp or a beetle in my hair?" So he did the helpful thing of just punching it out of my hair, narrowly missing my face.
Sure.
And considering I'm his manager as well, it was a good opportunity for him to nearly punch me.
Absolutely.
And this bug then flew out and hit the floor really hard. And I looked and I realized it was a ladybird, but it was actually completely out cold. It was unconscious on its back, like all its little legs were folded up underneath it. And
you said it was unconscious. Did you watch it the cover?
Well, I got a piece of paper. I put it on a piece of paper, and I was like, I'm gonna take it outside. But it started to come round as I was carrying it through the office. So I quickly then went into another room to get to a window and let it out the window. And it came round just before I got to the window and flew and hit the window and knocked itself out again.
It was probably severely concussed.
It did then come round and I put it outside. And if anyone sees a ladybird with brain damage in Hampshire, that's why.
Now, last week we were talking about how sport is basically group therapy in disguise. And now GPs have formalised it. Football on prescription is a real thing. Coincidence? I think not. Stu, you've been looking into this one for us.
I have. This is a world first.
Excellent.
So football matches prescribed for depression in the UK. So in a pioneering UK scheme, patients with mild to moderate depression in Gloucestershire will be prescribed free tickets to Forest Green Rovers football matches as an alternative to antidepressants. This initiative, a collaboration between a Labour MP and a former GP, his name's Dr. Simon Ofer, Ecotricity owner Dale Vince, who owns that football club.
Yeah, I thought I knew the name.
So they aim to combat social isolation, which Dr. Ofer, I'm going to call him, calls toxic and a health risk. He says is comparable to smoking. So Dr. Ofer, a proponent of social prescribing for conditions like depression, has previously prescribed activities such as gardening and comedy, noting that 80% of the patients adhere to these. He believes the communal aspect of football can offer a vital social outlet, helping individuals to get out and socialise, momentarily escape their own lives by roaring on your team. So the programme, dubbed a World First by Dr. Ofer, begins on August the 16th and will be available to patients at a dozen local surgeries. It tackles the growing concern of antidepressant overprescription, particularly for the mild to moderate cases. His scepticism towards widespread antidepressant prescription came after he began his career in the 90s. He said he started to see a lot of depressed people out there with low mood, so he started putting a lot of them on antidepressants or referring them to mental health. But he said 1 in 4, maybe even more, would just come back just no better. He realised that tablets didn't really help them, so he looked about what can we do different. So the owner of the football club, Forest Green Rovers, Mr. Vince, he said, I think it's a great thing if football clubs up and down the country could reach out to people and do this. Men typically don't really talk about their issues. That's the thing, and you get loneliness and things like that as well. He said, in my life, I've had periods where I've been a bit fed up and excluded. It's easy to spiral downwards when you're not in contact with people. And I just wanted to do something with it. He added, Forest Green has been one of the best experiences of my life, and I want to share that with the local community. So, social prescribing, any thoughts?
Well, I at first when I saw you share that story, I thought it was actually to play football, not
Right.
watch it. But after the last few weeks of that what we've been looking into with sports and sport as a kind of therapy to take part in, then yeah, I don't know if I completely agree with skepticism on antidepressants though, because they don't fix your problems, but they do alleviate symptoms though. So I think there is still a place for antidepressants, but yeah, but you want to combine things, don't you? It's not just going to be taking a tablet. You need social interaction, things that are maybe going to make you happy. So yeah,
Yeah,
good.
and for the people it doesn't work for, maybe that it's something else, isn't it? Like you said, some people can mix it, can't they, with medication as well, and some people take to the medication and it's good for them. But as we talked over last week, it's about getting out there and getting into a community, isn't it? And being
Absolutely.
part of something bigger than yourself. That's really what's behind it. And I think Forest Green Rovers, they're quite a progressive football club. I don't know if
Absolutely.
you've seen their new football kits. They're all made from vegan materials and so on.
Yeah,
And
it's been a huge part, isn't it? Because all of their players have to be vegan.
vegan, all the snacks at half time at the football are all vegan. They use clean energy, so it's a really sort of progressive football club, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's a really interesting idea and philosophy behind it, which I think is great. I also love this idea that somewhere in a clinic right now, a doctor might be asking, "Have you tried watching League Two?"
Yeah.
If all it takes is standing shoulder to shoulder with a bunch of strangers singing off key in the rain to remember you're part of something, then, if that's not medicine, what is? Well, for now, let's switch from footy stands to grass banks of a completely different kind. Over the Wimbledon fortnight, the All England Tennis Club get through 55,000 tennis balls. Have you ever wondered what happens to them?
I hadn't, but that's a lot. So yeah, I do now.
Well, fortunately,
Yeah.
Shelley knows the answer.
Do you?
Yes, I kind of feel like I actually have a sports story for
Okay.
once.
Fantastic. We've got you into talking about sport.
Yeah, I'm trying to join in. I'm inspired. This is my contribution to the world of sport. So apparently, after Wimbledon, like with all the tennis balls, they actually donate them to conservation groups so that they can make them into tiny houses for field mice.
What, 55,000 tennis balls?
Yeah, so if you see lots of tennis balls just on sticks in conservation areas, it's a field mouse home. Like they just cut a little circle out the front of it. And I mean, I don't know how field mice realize that this is meant for them, but they've clearly, they've obviously sent an email round to all the field mice. All the field mouse council has said, we finally got you a place on the housing list.
Social housing in the UK actually gets built.
But when I was reading into this, just to find, because I actually found this story in Country Living magazine,
Do
which
you subscribe?
I would have said though that's quite that magazine's been around for quite a while, hasn't it?
It's a fine publication.
It's a fine publication, but apparently it was myth busted. Well, it wasn't. Like apparently Wimbledon have donated tennis balls to conservation groups, but actually they haven't done it for a while. They only do it sporadically. But this article was from this year saying that they are donating. And then there was this other article, and I don't know what's true anymore.
Well, I had a look into this one as well. It seems like it's been something they've been doing certainly on and off for quite a long time now, about 20 odd years.
Yeah. But apparently, though, there are actually other tennis clubs and things that do regularly donate tennis balls for field mice homes. So it is still happening, even if Wimbledon aren't necessarily doing it.
Because I think they also give the tennis balls to clubs as well to use, don't they?
Do they? I don't know.
Because when they're playing the shots, they're only pretty much using them once, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I've got a niece who plays tennis, so I do know they do get a ball sent to them. But
why did you shout it like that? Balls sent to them.
Well, it's one of those words, isn't it? I guess.
Like woman.
It's like woman.
I'm very happy for these field mice. They've got real estate in SW19. That's living the dream, isn't it? All right, let's dive in with the story we probably weren't expecting in 2025, but here we are. Parisians are swimming in the Seine again, legally, publicly, and without needing a tetanus shot afterwards. It's the first time since 1923 that people have been allowed to do this. That's over a century of no from the authorities. You'd actually had an easier time swimming in a glass of Bordeaux. But now, thanks to a mere €1.4 billion clean-up operation, the river's finally clean enough for swimming. And the city's actually opened up 3 proper bathing spots. You've got one in Notre Dame, one by the Eiffel Tower, and one over in Bercy next to the big National Library. In case you fancy a quick paddle followed by a chapter of Proust. And linking back to last week's episode, because we were talking about how sport can actually do good in the world, right? Well, community connection, mental health, and now a clean-up that was driven by the 2024 Olympics. So credit where it's due, even if it did take an international multi-billion euro spectacle and the looming threat of televised embarrassment to finally get the job done, progress has been made. They got proper lifeguards on duty, showers, changing rooms, daily water quality checks. If the water's good, they fly a green flag. If it's not, it's a red flag, no swimming. So they're testing for things like E. coli and enterococci.
Easy for you to say.
But well, apparently not. I mean, they both seem like Italian starters to me, but they are in fact deeply unwelcome swimming companions. And it's not just humans making a splash. The fish are back too. In the 1960s, there were just 3 species left in the Seine. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
That's fewer than the number of real house plants I've actually managed to keep alive. Now, there's more than 35 species, including Atlantic salmon, which haven't been seen in the river for decades, pike, the grumpy granddads of the fish world, perch, roach, zander and catfish the size of uncomfortable secrets, plus, of course, European eels, which were probably hiding there anyway all the time, just judging us. The salmon's return is especially huge. They are what ecologists call a flagship species, which basically mean if they turn up, the river's doing well.
Wow.
Then that's good. And it's not just Paris showing off. It's part of a whole European trend, reclaiming rivers for people to actually use and enjoy. Copenhagen's been doing this for years. Oslo has floating saunas. Amsterdam, Zurich, they're all at it. Even Berlin, where people just staged a protest swim in the spree to say, hey, why can't we jump in our murky local waterway? There's even a Swimmable Cities Alliance now. That's a real thing, pushing to make clean, swimmable urban rivers a basic right, not just a quirky feature in travel blogs. So, it's good for the environment, it's good for people. Outdoor swimming, it's brilliant for mental health. It's free, it's social, it's kind of weirdly exhilarating.
I mean, there is an elephant in the room here, isn't there? And I guess you're going to go on to that now.
I will. I mean, naturally, the question is, could this happen here? Could we,
What, like the Thames?
clean, swimmable urban rivers?
I'm not going in any river.
Well, I've had a little think about this. So I think the short answer is we could, but we probably won't. Not anytime soon, because in Britain we're not so much investing 1.4 billion euros in river cleanup. We're investing in PR campaigns to explain why it's technically fine if you swim in diarrhea as long as you don't inhale. We've got wild swimming, but it's mostly wild because you don't know what diseases you catch.
But I guess if you don't test, then you won't find anything wrong, will you?
Well, there is that. But let's not forget, we had Surfers Against Sewage.
Yes.
Publishing real-time maps of which UK rivers were safe. Do you know how many of them were?
Less
One.
than 10%. One, was there?
You've still gone a bit high.
Yeah.
None. Not a single one. Put the wetsuit down. And look, there's groups trying to change it. There's the River Trust, wild swimming groups, local cleanup campaigns, absolute heroes, all of them. But when you compare what France managed with the Seine and what we've got going on here,
The bit of the Seine that they swim in, I take it that's not the river that actually runs through the part of the river that runs through the centre of Paris.
no, it is. Yeah,
Really?
that one, yeah.
Because that doesn't look so, I wouldn't imagine that being not just like pollution wise, but you know, like undercurrents and things. How safe is that to swim in?
Well, obviously safe enough because they're doing it.
And you said there's lifeguards.
They've got lifeguards and all sorts of stuff.
And they've made artificial beaches as well.
Yeah.
So
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Go and relax.
I would never go in the Thames.
No.
Unless I'm dead and someone's hurling my body in. That's the only way I'd end up in the Thames.
From one piece of surprising environmental news to another, and you know it's going to be a weird one when the words Wiltshire landfill and fresh avocado appear in the same sentence, and it's somehow still good news. Stu, over to you.
Well, there is a link to your last story here, actually, because the company involved are called Crapper and Sons Limited, and they've unveiled plans for a world-first initiative to grow fruit and vegetable in greenhouses directly above their Wiltshire landfill. So they're operating under their new community interest company, Sustain Wiltshire. It's a catchy name, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the project aims to provide local year-round produce for nearby towns like Royal Wootton Bassett, Malmesbury and Brinkworth. So this project is called the Super Midden, and I'll tell you what that is shortly. So Crapper and Sons already captures methane from waste to power their operations and supply the national grid. This process also produces clean carbon dioxide. The project director, Nick Ash, he said that quite clean CO2, along with heat and light, will be pumped into the greenhouses to create a rich growing environment for produce, including items not typically grown commercially in the UK. This is where your avocados come in. So plants will be grown without contact with the ground. So the system involves creating concrete lined cells within the landfill where waste will rapidly produce gas. This gas will then be captured and cleaned. generating electricity and providing the CO2 for the greenhouses, which will be portable to allow for waste management underneath. So Mr. Ash, he anticipates the project could supply up to 80% of the surrounding area's fruit and vegetable needs, drastically reducing emissions and food miles while improving local food security. He believes the technical aspects are sound, with the main challenge being the introduction of such a novel concept. So the company also plans to make the greenhouses portable, as we've said, which will allow the pits underneath to be emptied and have fresh waste put in them. So waste that cannot be recycled right away can have the organic matter rot and produce usable gas. And then the waste can also be processed again. So it's awaiting planning permission as we speak. And, this is the project called Super Midden. And this is based on midden. Do you know what that is?
I do not know.
No, it's a word mostly used by archaeologists to describe ancient rubbish dumps.
This is a super.
This is a super midden. Once they get planning permission, this is a transformation for the area. So cheap fruit, food security, avocados, and using waste dumps to produce energy.
It's a fabulous story. There's a part of me thinks, it's called Crapper and Sons. They're literally turning landfill into salad. It sounds like a pitch that Alan Partridge
it certainly does.
out there, doesn't it?
You couldn't make it up, could you? You absolutely couldn't make it
but
up.
But what an amazing story. I love it.
I would definitely go for some, of avocado with a low carbon footprint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, we're eating a lot of avo, aren't we, these days?
Yeah.
Smashed avo.
And sourdough.
But the thing is, as a result of that, because it's not, natural to this country, there's a lot of deforestation going on where avocados are grown because the demand's so high. So we're actually eating too much avocado. We should calm down on the smashed avo.
Is this thing happening with pistachios?
Yeah.
Because of the is it the Dubai chocolate bar?
Yeah, the Dubai chocolate bar. Yeah,
I'm
reading about that. So if you could eat an avocado grown on a waste dump from Crapper and Sons, I mean, that's got to be a winner, isn't it?
Certainly has.
And I know much you like the smashed avo, Jim, don't you, for breakfast?
Yeah, very excited about the smashed avo.
Is this something that makes you angry?
The only reason it makes me angry, Shay, so actually explain. Last summer before, me and Stu and Winnie and Anita, our friends, went to Twickenham and saw a rugby. Everything brings us back to rugby, doesn't it? Saw 2 rugby matches. One on the Friday night, which was New Zealand against South Africa, and then we stayed over in Richmond. And the next day we were watching England against Fiji. I shared a hotel room with Stu. Now, Stu is a bit of a snorer and had warned me that he snores very loudly. So I was quite keen to make sure that I got back, got my head down and got to sleep before Stu did. Stu wasn't keen on this idea at all and kept talking to me. Then he decided the aircon wasn't working properly. And rather than go to the controls on the wall to sort that out, he started playing with the unit on the ceiling, which fell apart, and I had to get up and put back together again, during which time he went to bed and fell asleep, right?
And
started snoring very loudly. So I didn't sleep. I don't think at all night. I just listened to podcasts. Every so often I'd take my headphones out. He was still going. So the next morning I hadn't really slept and I was not in the best of health or moods or anything. So we decided to go and get breakfast, only to discover that the hotel we'd booked just gave you a box of breakfast, one of those crappy boxes with horrible stuff in it. So we went out to find a restaurant, and the whole way round, all Stu would talk about in a bad Australian accent was smashed avo. So when we finally got there, I did decide to have some smashed avo. I don't really like it, but ever since then, any talk of
traumatized
smashed avo immediately makes me feel just rage, really, absolute rage. All right, here's one for the history books. Poland has finally generated more electricity from renewables than coal. Poland, the place we thought had a lifelong contract with coal, just ghosted it. In June 2025, renewables hit 44.1%, just nudging past coal and oil, 43.7%. Poland has been quietly ramping up wind and solar. They've got over 11 gigawatts of wind and nearly 22 gigawatts of solar now. They're also cooking up offshore wind farms and a nuclear plant for 2036, basically assembling an energy Avengers team. Coal's looking less like a villain and more like a has-been extra. But before we start popping the champagne corks, their grid is about as modern as a rotary phone. And their 10H rule means turbines have to be so far from homes, they might as well be in Narnia, quite honestly. Trying to build wind farms there is like trying to hold a rave in your grandma's sitting room. There's lots of rules and someone's always telling you to turn it down. The government is trying to fix it, but the law still has to jump through political hoops. So expect some drama before the green light. Meanwhile, over in Ireland, they've kicked coal out the door for good. Their last coal plant, Money Point, shut down 6 months early. It's sticking round as an oil backup until 2029. It's like that one party guest who just won't leave, even though they've clearly outstayed their welcome. But Ireland's transformation, is wild. At the millennium, wind was 1% of their power. Now it's over a third. Alexandru Mustatu from Beyond Fossil Fuels said Ireland has quietly rewritten its energy story, replacing toxic coal with homegrown renewables. So now the challenge is making sure they've got the storage and grid upgrades to keep the party going, because no one wants a blackout to kill the vibe. Ireland is the 6th European country to quit coal. Anyone know what the others are?
Are they in Europe?
Well, I just said they were the 6th European country, so
Okay.
make of that what you will, Stu.
Germany?
Sorry, Germany is not one of them.
Netherlands?
No.
Spain?
Nope.
I know. I suddenly can't think of any other Europe.
Austria, Belgium, Portugal, Sweden, and would you believe the UK?
What?
Spain and Italy are lining up to kick coal out later this year. So between Poland showing coal the door and Ireland slamming it shut, maybe coal has had its last hurrah. It's time to swap that black lung for fresh air.
Well, in the UK, there is a lobby, aren't there? They're kicking back against it, aren't they? About, carbon neutral and want to bring coal back because obviously climate change isn't happening, is it? So
I don't know, the nearly apocalyptic storm we had here this week. I'd never seen our road flood before, but it did for the first time.
But I did read that if Reform take power, they will reverse all this wind power, clean energy, and we're going to go back to coal.
Excellent. I always said George is the man to lead us back to the 19th century.
Sure, yeah.
And we'll have workhouses again. And
we'll be back.
Yeah, children working in mills.
But not European ones. We're not having. Draw the line somewhere.
So I guess the pushback is they think carbon neutral is expensive and it's not worth taking the pain now to pay for it all.
But as we've talked about on the show a number of times, actually what we're finding is green power is financially outperforming fossil fuels massively. If you want to make money, get into green power. That's where it all is.
I think coal smells quite nice. Am I weird?
What does it? It doesn't smell of anything, does it?
It smells of coal, doesn't it?
It's like got I don't know, kind of charcoaly, a coal smell.
A coal smell.
It smells like Immature Diamonds.
Wow, that's the name of this one, isn't it? That's the name of this pod.
Smells like Immature Diamonds.
That's the name of this week's podcast, isn't it?
There you
go. Shelley, what is an immature diamond, and when have you smelt one?
Coal is an immature diamond.
Yeah, coal diamonds are.
I feel like we're going over the circle here. We're back to. It smells of coal, mate.
God,
coal smells of coal.
We would make a really shit pub quiz team, though, wouldn't we?
Yes. Let's wrap up with a change of pace and talk about the only rave where the bouncers are dinner ladies and the drugs are Calpol and Pom Bears. Shelley, tell us about primary school raves.
Well, it's a good job I didn't want that to be a surprise. Like, would you like to know what they're doing at Braunstone Primary School
Is,
in
is it,
Leicester?
is it a rave by
It
any
might be a
chance?
rave.
Is it a children's rave?
Are the drugs Calpol and Pom Bears?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, there is a lovely primary school in Leicester that's called the Braunstone Primary School, and they have a head teacher who is called Halil Tamgamus, but they all just call him Mr. T.
Well, I don't think the actual Mr. T would be very happy with
I
that.
know, copyright,
Yeah.
copyright. As long as he
Well,
doesn't say
Mr.
his
T, as far as
first,
I'm concerned.
as long as his first name isn't Mr., it's fine. That's okay. Every Friday afternoon at school, he will be walking through the corridors with this big speaker on wheels, playing dance music. And every time the children then all hear it, they come rushing out of the classrooms and they're all following him along the corridor, dancing to the assembly hall, where they then have a rave last thing on a Friday every week. It ended up being in their local news, I think, or it was ITV News, and I actually picked it up following some record companies that I follow on Instagram, so they covered it as well. And yeah, but it's actually quite interesting because it's not just that he has these raves. He I think he started working at this school in 2019, and it was a school that wasn't really doing very well, but he completely turned it around. So they ended up actually getting really high SAT scores. I think it was like 82% of pupils met expected or above grades in maths. And I didn't write down some of the other statistics for reading.
Oh,
But yeah, he there's one of the teachers actually just said about him. So they all just have nothing but really nice things to say about this teacher, because one of them said he made sure that where you're from doesn't define your future. And he just sort of was just put every child first, and it was just actually just the example of somebody who really seems to enjoy their work. And actually somebody, when you have a good leader, it is just somebody who he's come in as a head teacher, he's a good leader, and he's actually made it so that people enjoy working there and the children enjoy going to school, because apparently even attendance improved at the school as well. But sadly, I did then read that he's stepping down from his role as head teacher there.
Okay, any reason for that?
I don't know. I couldn't find why he's
Okay,
stepping down. I just saw that he was. So,
but maybe his work is done.
yeah,
His
that's it.
work
He's
is done.
turned the school around. It's
Yeah.
time, like Mary Poppins, it's time
Yeah.
for him to move on to another school and turn that school around.
flying off with his magic umbrella,
But
Yeah.
fix another school.
it's like any community, isn't it, or group of people. If you've got, as you say, a strong leader and people engage with what you're doing, you can take people with you, can't you? You can change culture, and so many people don't know how to do it, or they do it really badly, don't they?
Yeah.
So giving the kids an opportunity on Friday afternoon when everything is pretty much done, isn't it? Giving them a
Yeah.
chance to have a dance and a bit of fun, then they just think, well, this is good. So he's given me this, so I'm going to knuckle down and try and get my exams and so on and so forth. It's culture change, isn't it? Which is the hardest thing to do. But if you can find a way to take people with you, you can make a lot of difference, can't you? I mean,
Yeah.
that's your field, this is, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And actually, there's if you want to see how to make culture change happen quicker and spread quickly, I recommend the book Viral Change by Lando Herrera.
Okay.
It's a spreading change like a virus.
And also the classic Who Moved My Cheese, have you read that?
Yeah, I have. I
Yeah.
find it a bit cheesy,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's old now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
But, yeah, I do, it's
principle,
nice.
the principle is solid, isn't it?
Hmm.
So you're a leader, aren't you, Shelley? So are you going to introduce that on a Friday afternoon? Have a hospital rave, maybe?
I think I would if I could. Um, yeah, I mean, they do play like the radio in the office, which I quite like. I really like that. I like that we have music in the office. Puts me in a good mood.
I,
Um,
I think music does, doesn't it?
yeah,
It's good
yeah.
for us. We've explored it over, a few weeks ago,
Yes,
didn't we?
I seem to remember talking about
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
This was about someone recovering from an
Oh,
illness.
Joni Mitchell.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
from an illness, and music giving them the motivation. But I think everyone likes to move and listen to music. It just makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Certainly does.
So
Unless it's Ed Sheeran. And that's a wrap on episode 13 of Everything's Fine, Probably, your weekly antidote to bad news, served with a side of sarcasm and just the right amount of making it up as we go along. We kicked off with doctors prescribing football to tackle depression because we already knew that cheering for your team can double as therapy, and now the NHS is catching up. Then we met Wimbledon's poshest new tenants, harvest mice living the high life in designer tennis balls. Next up, Parisians finally took the plunge back into the stain after a century, whilst in Wiltshire, landfill gas got a glow up, powering greenhouses that'll grow your next avocado. That's right from rubbish to restaurant ready. Poland waved goodbye to coal, proving you don't need a miner's lamp to see that the future's bright. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more surreal, UK primary schools turned up the volume with rave-themed lessons. If you enjoyed this load of old guff, do us a favour, smash that like button like it's a rave glow stick, subscribe faster than a Quins fan grabbing our tickets for the new season, and share this episode with anyone who needs a reminder that not all news is out to ruin their day. Follow us on social, because your feed can always use more good news and fewer pictures of soggy sandwiches. Hit that bell too so you never miss an episode. Unless you're busy swimming in the Seine or hosting a primary school rave, in which case, yeah, it's fine, we get it.
Jim, just before you wrap up, can I say hello to our listeners in the USA and also Brazil and also Canada and also in Scotland, Australia as well?
Yeah, if you want to.
Hello.
I mean, it wasn't the best time, but I'm sure they appreciate it. Hello, everybody. Look, drop us a review if you love us, or even if you hate us. It's all good content. And hey, if you tell your mates about the podcast, that's basically free advertising. Might just save them from doom scrolling into oblivion. So click those buttons like they're your money. Keep the good news rolling. And until next week, keep your spirits high, your sarcasm higher. And remember that everything's fine. Probably.